Hello, George.
Hey, what's up, Helmet?
Ah, ha, ha. You get the guns going.
Yeah, man, purify the air, man, purify. Little
Uh,
Tibetan
oh man, you get
girl.
the Tibetan going too.
Oh yeah, man. I'm just so thankful, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Hanging in with this stupid, crazy virus going on, and doing the best to move forward and keep everything going. And it's a good time actually to do things like we're doing now. A little interview with you about your life and your um, career as an artist and a musician for Wolf Entertainment Radio, and of course also next to that as a very dear friend of
Thank
mine.
you.
I mean, we've been now what 12 years or so. We've been connected even before Wolf Entertainment, and
Yes,
we had we,
it's
we
been a
had
it's been a good relationship, man.
yeah, we had a long way together so far.
Yeah, yeah.
And I really wanted to do this interview with you because every time I speak to you, you tell me another thing about your career and your life that blows me away, who you've been with, who you played with. So I wanted to kind of take the opportunity and squeeze you and uh, get that information out to other jazz lovers, people who love you and love your career. And it's a very interesting life you're having.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So let's get going. So how did you get started? How did you get interested in music, playing drums?
Well, I guess I'm very blessed. I was a third generation drummer. Everybody in my family, going back to Magnolia in New Jersey, which was part of the Underground Railroad. My grandfather played drums and marimba. My father played drums. All four of my uncles played drums. So it
Wow.
was kind of like in the family. And I started out, I started out on cardboard boxes, man. That was the that was, that's what I had right away. I did that for about maybe a couple of years, and then I got some drums, man. It was interesting, but it was kind of like a family thing. And then like we had a drum and bugle corps. This will blow your mind, a drum and bugle corps, man. So it's like a tradition, and we didn't just do it in the basement. My parents bought everybody turquoise shirt. And I guess you call it an Australian hat where one side is up on one side and the hat's regular.
Okay.
And we had that in black pants. Helmet, you're going to die, man. They put a snare drum on my leg. And we were marching, man, for miles and miles, man. And I remember as a little boy dragging that one leg, dragging that leg miles, man. So I guess it built up endurance. But I was really, really interested at that point.
Okay. And then what was the first time you played live in public? You played, in a performance.
Well, that's interesting because I practiced and practiced for so many years. And then I went to Camden, and there was an organ player named Richard Groove Holmes. And man, he was really, really killing, really good. And so I was sitting in, and that's the first time I had played with a band, and man, it was killing. Like I was bitten by the entertainment bug.
Mm.
And it wasn't so much at that period of time. I know it sounds funny. It wasn't so much girls as it was fulfillment after all of the devotion and practice. It's one thing to sit in your basement and play along with a record, and it's another thing to sing along in the shower. It's another thing to play with a band on a stage and create cohesion. Woo!
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
You get
it was
high.
fulfillment.
I remember my first high when I had my first live gig. I came on the stage. I was flying. I didn't even know this feeling existed before. I know exactly what you
That's so, and that's, it's funny to say, but that's a pure emotion that you may not have the name for it in the beginning. Feels good.
well, and you can't really describe it anyway, and even now, after so many years on stage, when I'm on stage and the magic happens,
That's
and
it.
the high is unbelievable. And
That's it.
I always had this theory that so many artists become alcoholics or drug addicts because they have the experience of this incredible high, which other people don't ever have in their life when they're
Right.
musicians. But then when they all come off the stage, their normal life, they do not have that high unless they know about meditation. And so then there's a big, big gap between that high and your normal life. So you take drugs and you get drunk and to
Yeah,
try
that's a
and
shame. Yeah,
chase the
yeah.
high, Mm.
And see, a lot of times that's why people meditate also, to try to keep that, because John Coltrane used to do that. The meditation sometimes keeps you near that level
Yeah.
of concentration. But I'm going to tell you, there's nothing like
No.
being on stage and having that music. See, Art Blakely used to say it's a spontaneity that you can't feel any other place but playing music on the stage. And it's a whole level of existence that's for, I hate to say it, but for a choice few. And it's something that it's like exercise. If you can't jump over those hurdles, you must practice until you can jump those hurdles. No different in music. You sound terrible, you keep practicing until you sound good. And hope to God
That's
that
one of the
comes
biggest
before
lows.
they ain't got no more money.
That's one of the biggest lows possible too. If you have a really shitty, really fucked up gig, and
Yes.
you come on stage, oh, that's really bad.
Well, see, that's another point, a step into another level. I hate to say it, but when you're coming through, which I mean coming through is when you're honing your talent, getting to the excellent and advanced level, you play all kinds of gigs. So you do play with some people that are like above you and challenge you, but you also play a certain amount of gigs with guys that should trade the instrument in at the end of the gig. Yeah. So what happens is you should go home and practice that off. Case in point, guys playing, and then the drummer slows down. He slows down, or the drummer speeds up. You can't get the melody in anymore. We have to go and have discipline.
Yeah.
And we have to either choose to get a metronome and put in an hour a day. With drums especially, you have to keep up with the physical side. Not only the mental, but the physical, because if your body, and Bill Cosby said it better than anyone else. He said he used to play down in his basement. He thought he was Tony Williams, Elvin Jones, Art Blakey, all wrapped into one down the basement. Then he goes and he plays in a club. They asked, could he sit in? He said, yeah. They said, yeah, go ahead, man. Yeah, you can sit in, man. So he got up there on the drums. And he was playing So What? He said, they played one tempo down his basement. He got on the stage. They went, my man said, he said, I got a Charlie horse at the intro, and I'm wondering what to do with the whole rest of the song. My arm locked up. It wouldn't do nothing. Hey, man, it's a whole thing. And that's why it's fulfilling when you can actually sound like one and you're doing four things at one time. So that level you have to stay engaged with, especially percussion. Because at times people really want you to keep a sort of a consistent tempo. That's
nothing worse than a drummer that slows down and speeds up. Fucking hate it.
Well, they have every word in their dictionary except consistency. That's the only word they don't have. It's the hardest thing to achieve.
Yeah, most important. For me, it's much more important to have a steady drummer than somebody who does all this fancy stuff and loses time all the time. Yeah.
That's why they're in. That's why they, no disrespect intended, but that's why they're by themselves. It's almost like a personality disorder.
Yeah.
Do you play well with others or don't you play well with others? So it's a
I
thing.
know you've been playing with some of the best. So who have you enjoyed most playing with, or who were like the top guys that that our listeners might know that you've been playing with? I know you've been playing with the best.
Well, that's a good question because I really enjoy playing with a lot of guys, a lot of different ways, but I have to admit the first one who I started with Grover Washington Jr. I really enjoyed that. That was my first traveling gig, out of the house,
Wow,
on the road,
with
on
Grover.
that level. I was blessed to enter the industry on that level. And then we go on to, I think, one of the best organ players around in the world, Mr. Charles Early. I went to the Montreal Jazz Festival, my first Montreal. I played it 3 times. Man, it was like,
The
it was a
greatest.
monstrous statement,
Mm,
monstrous. I enjoyed every minute of it. And that was wonderful because organ and piano, organ is really large and it has a different function and a different groove than piano and bass. So it was another whole texture. I enjoyed that whole thing. And then I went from there to, I think it was, Jimmy Garrison, which I really liked the John Coltrane quartet thing. And I've been a fan for many, many years. So it was kind of funny. I have a friend, Henry Carnes, he introduced me to Jimmy Garrison. I lived with Jimmy Garrison for I think it was 2.5 years, and I met McCoy Tyner. And at that time, it was very precious, and timing was at the essence at that period of time because I didn't have no money, man. And I used to thumb it from New Jersey to New York. And I had my drums at.
that's not far. It's just over the bridge. You can walk
Yeah,
from
but
New
see,
Jersey to New
I'm
York.
down Atlantic City. I'm down the whole other end of the state.
Ah, New Jersey down there. Okay.
So it's like a two-hour ride. So
Yeah, yeah.
I had that thumb
Hitchhike
out
with
on the
the
turnpike.
kid, with the drum kit.
No, I already had the drums up at Jimmy Garrison's house.
Okay.
And then when I left there and I was playing with Buster Williams and I had a set of drums over Buster Williams' house, that's where I met Art Blakey and Roy Haynes because they played
Amazing.
right down the street at McCall's, 57th in New Amsterdam. So it was kind of like a really hip time because you can't do that now. Can't thumb it, can't get there for free, can't do it. It's a lot of things. So timing was the essence of life at that period of time. And then I loved playing with Buster Williams and the gang. I loved playing with Art Blakey and them. And I really was mentored with Art Blakey. And the time that I was playing with McCoy, I enjoyed that. Was super powered. He wasn't actually with the record company when I was working with him. He was out of a record company, 79. I worked with him from 79 to 82, 83. And we played all over the place, man. European
The
tour.
Jazz Montreux also with him, huh?
Yeah. Man, I still got some stuff. I got some stuff, music with McCoy and I playing duo, man. It was like, whew, off the
Oh,
hook. And
really?
then the violin, John Blake was playing violin. Joe Ford was playing soprano and flute. And when I first joined the band, there was a monumental tenor player, Mr. George Adams. Man, oh man, it was incredible. George Adams, Joe Ford, John Blake, Charles Fambro on bass, Guilherme Franco from Sao Paulo, Brazil, percussionist. Oh man, it was killing. It was killing. It was, oh man, it was like, I have arrived. It was like a really hip experience. Each one of them, I really feel blessed because I was more or less like piano player, organ player, drummer, because I played with a lot of piano players, Lonnie Liston Smith. I was on his Loveland CD. A lot of different textures and a lot of different influences made up my my vision for writing music, my vision for creating warm music, opposed to highly technical music. I feel people should feel your music, and no disrespect intended. Everybody doesn't know music. I don't know everything about computers. Am I expected to write a program? No. But I want to play music people understand and people feel.
Yeah.
Not that people scratch
It's a
their
bit
head.
like this sometimes in jazz. I feel especially that the technique is probably a bit overrated and the feel is a bit underrated.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't want you, see, my thing, and I learned at a very young age because I was blessed to be around a lot of influences. I think this guy was really, really smart that said this. I think he could have been actually a genius. He said, yo, man, stop talking with all those big words. If you're truly a genius, you should be able to break down everything you say to common terms so everybody can understand. It's a true sign of a genius. I really took that to heart.
Yeah, great.
That's why I want to play music that people feel. So when they leave.
You've been playing drums for a long time, but you not only play drums, you also sing. And to be honest, that over throughout the period of our connection, that has grown, and it wasn't a beginning new for me. And you actually have a really great singing voice, and so you have become from I would say you have like grown from being a drummer to be also a singer and vocal performer. You want to?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. I play a lot of piano, man. It helps, man. You know, with the writing and staying and pitch and I just feel blessed to be able to learn all of that and do all of that, man. And I really loved touring with the guys. That's one thing. I really loved the touring and playing for people and feeling the warmth. A funny story, Helmut. I'm playing in the States, man, and I'm laying this out not as a pro and a con, not as a good or a bad thing, just an experience, a young man growing up in Philadelphia in this area. It's a very hard crowd. Matter of fact, if they acknowledge you at all, you really got to be above average.
You're cool, yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's got an agenda, which is not bad. I grew up with it. You play in this state, you play in that state, you play across the United States. It's just something. So I had my first European tour with China. And we play in Germany, man, your home country. So we're playing, man, it's off the hook, right? Oh, man, great music. So you can hear a pin drop, not in the States. Then all of a sudden, we get done the song, and everybody starts clapping, but it's the same time. I said, oh, my God. And then they stood up, and they gave you a round of applause. I said, oh, my God. So we go back, and I say to McCoy, I said, man. He said, you ain't home now, huh? You're not home. These people appreciate you a whole other way. And I said, wow. So I like the warmth and the attentiveness of different cultures. I really enjoyed that. I really did.
I agree with you. I mean, having grown up in Germany, I didn't appreciate it back then so much, but people actually listen. When they go to a concert, they actually go there to listen to the music.
Yeah, right. That's right.
And then when I went to Australia, I did my first gig down there, and nobody gave a shit. They were all hanging out, drinking, hitting on girls, blah, blah, blah. And it's like the band is like another radio or something in the background,
Yes. Yes.
Although they actually do hear it, and, you can turn them on. But there's a massive difference between European crowds and I know more Australian crowds.
Man, I was traveling in Germany. I think it was either Dusseldorf or Wiesbaden or Frankfurt, and we're playing, and it was packed and standing room only. And, back then they were allowed to smoke. Yeah. Now, we played for 2 hours straight, and nobody moved. And it was a whole thing of smoke. And after we got done, man, they would, it was like beautiful. They clapped, man. It was like, oh, it was like heaven on earth,
Well, I tell
So
you what,
respectful.
Nico Heine, for me, growing up in Germany, he was one of the gods, and it's like Keith Jarrett and
Wow, yeah.
it's like these guys, and like the few times that I had the opportunity to record with you, for me, it's always, as a musician, an absolute honor because I know who you have played with and who you
And I
have,
appreciate that.
and to
Yeah.
just be on the same recording with you is for me is like,
And man, we have some great recordings too we did, man. I really enjoyed them, man.
me too. I often listen to them still, and let's see if we can get some more stuff done together. I would love that. So, what's your favorite venue you have ever played with? What's the you have ever played? Was it Montreux or?
Yes. Yes. I liked it, man. It was like, and the guy, it was a lot happened for me. Um, I had a cymbal at that period of time that had a bite out of it. It was
Okay.
like had a little crack in it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where Mr. Price told me to go downstairs. I didn't even know who he was. He said, go downstairs, and he said, man, that cymbal looks rough, man. I said, yeah, man, sounds good, though. Sounds good. I don't know who he was. I wasn't going to talk about my cymbals. He said, why don't you go downstairs? There's a room down there. You go on down there and get yourself some cymbals, man. I said, man, what do they think that's stealing? He said, look, just go get some cymbals, man. Go down. So I'm down there, and I didn't realize, man, the brand new cymbals, man. It was like everywhere. He had a great big showroom of cymbals. I'm like, I wonder who that dude is. So he comes in, and I'm like, hey, man, thanks, man. Do I have to pay for these? Will you want me to pay for these? He says, man, this is my company, man. He said, see the name on the cymbal, man? He said, that's my last name. He said, them two little kids running around over there, they're my sons. Turns out, man, when he retired, I was dealing with these guys, But it was really a different experience, all around. But that Montreux was nice, man. See, it's good to play a show. That's why I like the concerts and the festivals, and it's good to present a show, man. A whole thought, not like fragmented.
I know, and when I lived in Europe, I never played sets. I only played shows. It was like a religion to me. And you have a flow, and you know
Yes,
where you want to take the people as part of the show to what the energy levels, and you take them up, you take them down. And only in Australia, again, suddenly 3 sets, and there's a disconnection going on then, okay? Because you get just worked up and then you stop. And then
right. See,
worked up again. I'm so done with that stuff. So I totally
it's hard. See, it's hard for you because you have to realize if people are going to pay attention, they're only going to pay attention and be captivated for a certain amount of time in a certain amount of situations. So if you're going too long in one situation, you lost them. And especially that break thing, what really gets people is when they lose track of time, but enjoying where they are while they're losing track of time. Yeah. Soon as you remind them of time, they get bored. They got to move on. See, now it's too long.
Yeah, yeah.
But the reason we learn that's from experience.
Yeah. So, George, what's the future hold for you? What's the plan? Where you're at with everything? I mean, you got your own thing going now, George Johnson Quartet. Are you playing a trio as well? Or you can even play in a big band? You've got all the people at your fingertips to play with. So, how do you see it?
Well, at the moment, I really like. I really enjoy playing my own festivals and gigs with my own music and the band I have. I've done a lot of tours, European tours with my own band. One of them is the John Hicks. What did that? Yeah, I got John Hicks and Steve Kirby. And here's the one from Turquoise Ocean. We have Kenny Drew Jr., which is great talent. We have Steve Kirby on bass and Gary Thomas, tenor saxophone. And that boy, he's really a legend. And here's the guys from the tour on the back of me that I also put on Facebook: Steve Kirby and the legendary John Hicks. These guys are monsters, man.
Mm.
Steve Kirby was playing with Elvin Jones in the Jazz Machine in between when playing with me and touring with me. I'm very blessed, man. But I really want to get up and running again. So I like the festivals, I like the concerts, and I prefer, if I have to do a club, I'm going to do 2 shows because the flow that you were referring to is a big part of the next level.
The experience, absolutely. And I mean, they have in Europe, they have fantastic jazz clubs, you know?
Yes.
When I lived in Europe before I came back this time, I used to always hang in jazz clubs and just watch the great American players come over and listen.
I was killing.
And
I
hope that after this virus crap is over, that we can really get you over here and tour you.
Do you remember this? I don't know if you've heard of this place. It's called Moods, Switzerland.
No.
That's a club. I did 2 shows. They really like that thing, man. I really like Switzerland, man.
Me too. I love Switzerland.
Very warm people, man. And it's just that I'm hoping after this whole virus thing, because it's going to be over. It's going to be over. We get back out rolling because people are going to be so tired of being in. They may go out and not come back for a couple of weeks. Everybody be sleeping, standing up like a horse. They just don't want to go to sleep. Been in too long. You tired? No, man, I ain't tired. You want to go to sleep? No, man, I slept last week. I ain't gonna sleep this week, man. But
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, let's hope that this happens, and I can't wait to get you over here and hang with you. And
that'll be great.
It's so nice to see you in New York last year.
That was beautiful, man.
12 years of working together.
Yes.
Via the internet and whatever, fax and phone and telephone and Skype, to actually hang and be in the same space. I love
that. Was great.
It was so fantastic.
And that place was nice, man. That place was really nice, man.
It was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my friend, is there anything else you want to say to the fans, or anything to round this interview off?
Well, just a couple things. I would like to thank everybody for checking me out. Here's one thing. Let me see if I can get this right.
Yeah. Kings Without Kings. That's one of your latest albums, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is one of the things I tried to, because I liked Art Blakey so much. I did a lot of Art Blakey tunes, and I wrote a song for my wife, and I wrote a lot of music on that CD. And I'm kind of proud of all the CDs. I'm kind of proud of that CD. That's
and you have an amazing discography. And if the listeners want to check out George, go to his website, georgeajohnsonjr.com, where you can have access to all the albums. There's not everything is on there, but most of it is on there that you've played on and produced and worked with.
It's nice, man. I think it's about, what, 20 something? Helmet.
Amazing body of work.
I didn't realize, and because I started playing at 5 years old, I didn't really realize, Helmet, I've been playing drums for 62 years.
I am 62 years. I started playing only at 14, so you got a long way ahead of me, man. But that's amazing. 62 years of playing music is like, head up, big time.
And man, time flies when you're just having fun. I didn't even realize it. Hey, man, I want to thank you, man, for the bottom of my heart, man. You're the greatest, man. That
No,
Wolf Entertainment, that's really something. I watched you build it, man, and it's really large. You got people begging, man, to get in, man. That is really a great achievement.
thank you.
Honest dude.
Thank you.
I
And
appreciate you, man.
I did it with like out of nothing, you know, and no backup. So, and now it's come to a really nice level. I like to take it now to, lift it to a higher level because we have such amazing talent like yourself, literally legends with our label. And I like to take that out
It's
to
going to happen.
and I think it will happen because I'm getting a lot of feedback in that direction now. So thank you, and thank you so much for always, you're one of the most loyal people ever, and working with you and knowing you is just an absolute pleasure.
Man, I appreciate it, man. That's my basic characteristic, man. Loyalty,
Mm.
respect.
Mm.
Hey, Helmet, stay healthy, man. Stay safe.
I got the magic. I got the magic potion.
Hey, man, that's strong, man. When we were in Ireland, we were drinking that, man. That's strong stuff, boy.
No, it's not that wild. It's 5%, 4.9. It's not that wild.
Well, see, they be like 4.5 here.
Yeah,
5 and 6 is,
it's strong over there. I know. George, thanks again so much, and we'll speak very soon. Okay.
Hey, man, you take care, man. I'll be in touch. Thank you.